Well, that's it. I've done my duty, going to my dad's funeral. And to come back here after over 20 years feels strange. I changed my mind so many times. I wasn't going back. I'd left that life in the past. But then there was this little voice deep inside that said, why not? I hadn't done anything wrong. Why should I stay away? I knew it would be difficult. But you see, I'm not the same confused girl in her 20s I was when I left here all those years ago. I know who I am now. And yet, as the train journey carried me closer, I felt the years melt away and the same old feeling began to rise up again. I realized it was dread. Dread about seeing her again. My mother. You see, my mother never wanted a child like me. She was a bitter, bigoted woman, wrapped up in her so-called faith. She denied what was right in front of her just so she didn't lose face with her friends. I can still remember the day I told my parents. I was 22, and I thought they would surely have guessed by now. But I'd fallen for someone, and I wanted to bring them, her, to meet my parents. I was finally coming out of the very dark, lonely closet. I don't know what I was thinking. Dad went quiet. Mom exploded with rage, telling me to pack a bag and get out. So I did. Over the years, I would ring home, hoping to talk to Dad, but Mom said I had broken his heart and he didn't want to speak to me. I gave up trying eventually. But today, I found out it was a lie. I wouldn't even have known about the funeral if my cousin hadn't told me. My mother didn't look at me once during the service. And against my better judgment, I decided to go back to the house for the wake. I was curious to see the old place. It hadn't changed. I wouldn't have found the letters if I hadn't spilt my drink and needed to get the mop out of the understairs cupboard. And there they were, all wrapped up in brown paper and never posted. My dad had written to me many times over the years. Mom had promised to post the letters, but she never did. She lied to him. She lied to me. I took the letters and I got out of there. It was all about power. She kept the letters to remind herself that she had won. She'd broken the relationship between me and Dad. She was always jealous of how close we were. As soon as I told her about who I really was, that was her excuse to keep us apart. I can't bear the thought of Dad dying thinking I didn't care. I didn't care enough to write back. Because I would have. I knew all the hatred came from Mom, not him. He wasn't that type of man. He was a good man, a gentle and tolerant man. He would have loved me whatever I was. There's one thing that gives me some comfort. He never stopped writing. The last letter he wrote to me was dated last week, just before he died. He never stopped writing. So I'm going to take that thought with me all the way home on the train. He did love me.